Hi everyone, my name is Asa Verret. Soon I'm going to be publishing actually the first part of a series, the first volume called Griffith Alliance, the New Counterculture. Um, and I guess there were some important themes that I think are tied with other books, like other forms of other genres, other forms of literature, particularly science fiction, because mainly I've been speaking in the speculative science fiction kind of arena, because I'm trying to address issues of authoritarianism. In this case, in the novel that I'm writing, aristocracy. But I wanted to use other examples as well, um, with other writers that are come from the older generation that I think we're trying to speak about the same things essentially. One of them is Philip K. Dick, who was born in 1928. Um, he wrote a book called, well, it was first a short story called The Minority Report. It was written in 1956. Um, and then later on, it was turned into a movie. And it deals with these strange beings that are created called precogs who are supposedly able to predict a crime before it happens. Um, and it creates this very formulaic, extremely corrupt legal system, because people are, as you can imagine, many innocent people are getting arrested for things that are essentially evaluated in this a similar way to a social credit score. Is that it will take sometimes very innocuous, very benign things, and it will pick up on these patterns, and then it will evaluate whether or not you're an upstanding citizen, whether or not you're a danger to society, um, and so um, that's basically similar in themes to what I've been writing about. Social credit score, in this case, created by an aristocracy. Um, and a lot of Philip K. Dick's, I guess I won't say call it paranoia because it's not necessarily the most accurate term, but it is a sense that he had that something was not right, that he grew up with many emotional issues, many mental health issues, um, and he felt like he had a kind of a strange sort of insight into these things. He sensed that uh, the government was doing things behind the curtains that he didn't really understand. And so he was trying to make sense of these things through fiction. And a lot of it was what he called visions, things that he saw in his own mind, but that he believed were connecting with other realities that were speaking to him. Um, and I guess that's one key theme, I think, that correlates. That's something that I've been exploring for quite a while. Um, is really the connection between the visionary experience, and then the real world. Because in this case, in the case of the new counterculture, my own book, it's about an artist, Dmitri, who uses his own art as a mystic, to, in this case, mythology, to try to understand things. The difference is that he understands that it's in his own imagination, but nonetheless, it's a tool that he's using, um, to try to understand the political and also the social kind of reality as well. Um, and I would say really the last thing that I think is probably the most important um, thing to cover is the issue of expedience, the issue of feeling that, and this is even a theory that is brought up in the book Crime and Punishment, the issue that the theory that the ends justify the means, that as long as it benefits the greater number of people, it's fine if you use something that is expedient, that is half-hearted, that is not very thought through, because the result, if the result can benefit the greatest number of people the quickest, in the least amount of time, if you can just take down the right number of people, it doesn't matter if certain innocent people get hurt in the process. And that's really the almost the basis of all dystopias. Um, and you see that the protagonist in the Minority Report uh, deals with things on that level. He deals with that level of insanity because he's against the system and he's a dissident, and eventually he has to run away because he obviously believes that no situations have to be evaluated on a individual basis. That there is no, I'm not saying that the concept of the greater good doesn't exist, but there needs to be, um, it's still broken up into a whole system of individuals, and that's the part that's missing. And that's why I would say that that's one flawed, I think, theory that's behind really all the villains, the arch nemesis of all these different dystopias. And this Minority Report explores this the most by creating these imaginary beings that are able to see into the future. So I guess these are things, I guess, to keep in mind, and things that I certainly keep in mind as I'm producing my own work, is how I can not only explore the same themes as him, but try to come up with the solution.